Outlander Episode 9 Review. Guess who's coming to dinner at Fraser's Ridge? The prodigal son. William has arrived and offers everyone a charming, gentlemanly smile, excluding his birth father. Jamie receives the coldest of shoulders. The only person who receives William's true emotions about his blow-up with Amaranthus and John is Bree, who begs him to keep an open mind. All the gang gathers around the dinner table, including young Ian and Rachel. Roger announces that he's going to be ordained as a minister and invites everyone to the ceremony. And then Jamie tricks William into meeting him at dawn to fish, because everyone under his roof has to catch their own dinner. Let the record show that I would starve. The next morning, Jamie is able to melt a little of William's frigid exterior, but Lord John's name comes up and all the hateful things spew out of William's mouth, including the word sodomite. William is irritated that this word doesn't seem to faze Jamie and once again bemoans the fact that his father figures are masters at keeping secrets from him. Then he accuses Jamie of being John's lover. Jamie calmly tells William that it isn't true. He follows that statement with the fact that John is one of the best men he knows, and he's quite confident that John loves William with his entire heart and soul. John has given William everything, except for the truth. And with that, William stomps out of the river, straight to his horse, so he can take his proverbial ball and go home. Claire calls him out, knowing that William rode a very long way from home, not to visit with Bree, but to reconcile with Jamie. And let's be clear, dear William, the country is at war, and Jamie could die. Is that the last conversation he wants to have with his father? If she'd had a microphone, she would have dropped it. Cut to William finding Jamie and his men, including Mr. Whitaker and other free slaves, training how to hold the line in battle. William nervously invites his dad to hunt with him the next morning, where Jamie shoots a huge elk. Dinner for the entire ridge, everybody. As Jamie preps the elk, William apologizes for his behavior at the river. Then he presses into a few memories of Jamie when he was a boy, accounting that he worshipped him like a hero. He loved Jamie, and Jamie left him. How could he do such a thing? Hewent's glassy eyes make another appearance as he explains to William that he loved him fiercely, but had nothing to offer him. He was a Jacobite traitor and hated by any man who kept his oath to the king. As much as he wanted William, he didn't want to condemn him to a life of pain, so he did what he thought was best. He asked John to love him as his own. Jamie apologizes to William for causing him pain and asks for forgiveness, and William crashes into his father, weeping uncontrollably. It was the emotional breakdown that William needed. And we have to wonder if this means William will stay to help Jamie in battle, or will he return to mend things with Lord John? Or should I say, rescue Lord John? Because when Lord John travels to Percy's office to hear more about Captain Richardson, the black-hearted scoundrel slams the butt of his gun against John's head in the middle of Percy's office. What is going on? Moving from one stressful situation to another, Rachel finds Fanny on the stairs, upset. Some boys read the pamphlet about Jane and told Fanny that since her sister was a murderer and took her own life, she's burning in hell. And sweet Rachel did what we all would have done in that situation. She suggests that Fanny go and talk to Reverend Roger about her questions. Fanny does go to Roger, but she decides she's not ready to ask him questions. She even skips Roger's induction ceremony. When he calls on her to find out why, she says she can't stand to be in a place where her sister isn't welcome. Roger quickly realizes Fanny is upset about Jane's death and gently explains that the church is made up of people and rules are made by man, not God. A little confused, Fanny wisely asks Roger to intervene on her behalf and to please ask God whether Jane is in heaven with him. Roger suggests Fanny ask God herself. She should tell God how she feels. He's always knocking, and anyone can let him in. Just be open to the idea. We then see Fanny at Jane's memorial stones, begging her sister to give her a sign that she can hear her. Fanny crouches down beside the river to pick up a funny-looking green rock. The rock either cuts her hand or burns it, and Fanny drops it quickly before examining it again, only to find the rock cracking in two. Then the buzzing noise swells as Fanny desperately grabs her ears. It's a somber day for Outlander fans, particularly those of us who adored a certain print shop owner with a charming French accent. Showrunners continue to move the storyline forward at the speed of a freight train, and viewers are along for the ride. There's no time to mourn when war is coming. And we know it's coming, because Frank's voice narrates each and every detail as Jaime climbs King's Mountain. It turns out that Frank's description matches what Jaime is seeing perfectly, including the perilous climb up a summit where the Loyalist militia will be waiting. The good news is, according to Frank, that Jaime's men claw their way up the mountainside and are victorious. The bad news is that Jaime dies in battle. While Jaime informs Claire that he believes Frank's words are accurate and not a sick joke from the future, William deals with his own version of a sick joke. Did Amaranthus truly know that her husband Ben was alive? Amaranthus admits that it was her idea to feign his death because he wanted to join the rebellion. What else was she supposed to do? She didn't want her son to have a traitor for a father, and clearly Ben didn't love her enough to shove those patriotic feelings down and just stay in his red coat. Amaranthus then pours an entire shaker of salt in William's wound by claiming he was the perfect match for her because he was a coward who avoided conflict. Ouch! When she heard from Uncle John that William resigned his commission, it was the perfect scenario. Things begin to unravel when William threatens to tell his dad and uncle about Ben's survival and new wardrobe. Amaranthus melts down at the thought of Ben being hanged for switching sides, and William's jealous side emerges, demanding she explain why she's so upset. If she still loves Ben, why did she agree to marry him? John walks in at that moment to defuse the tension, which doesn't work because William blurts out that Ben is alive, and he knows because he saw him with his own eyes as a military leader at the Continental camp. John takes in the information, praises God for small mercies that he doesn't have to tell his brother that his son is dead, and instructs everyone to take a seat. This moment calls for some brandy. Amaranthus defends herself, reminding the two privileged men in front of her that she would do anything for her child, including concealing the truth. She storms out of the room, and John gives William the old side eye, knowing what is happening between his son and his nephew's widower. Since Ben is alive, he tells William to stand down. Amaranthus made her choices based on the love of her child, and John totally gets that. He may not approve, but he understands. Meanwhile, at the Fergus, Fraser and Sons print shop, Fergus teaches Germain and Henri Christian how to print pages on the press. The lesson evolves when Fergus reminds his boys that the pen is mightier than the sword, and they can never lay it down. The foreshadowing hits later as Marzali receives a rotten tomato to the back for being a rebel, and it continues when Fergus finds a creepy poem tucked into the doorframe of their house. Neither Marzali nor Fergus seems fazed when the note reads of a fire, and they vow to hold their heads high and continue to raise their children and future children to do the same.